Welcome to the Power Book of Podcasts. Unlock your potential with powerful book summaries that inspire personal growth and broaden your understanding of the world. Each week, we explore life-changing ideas, from leadership to mindset strategies to keys for happiness and success. Learn actionable insights to apply in your daily life. Join our growing community of thinkers and seekers. Like, comment, and hit that subscribe button now. It's time to supercharge your mind with the Power Book of Podcasts.
Welcome to your deep dive. Looks like you've been checking out Cal Newport's deep work.
Yeah.
And I'm sensing you're really keen on finding ways to, really focus and produce amazing work, that top-notch stuff.
For sure.
Especially in this world, right? Everything's vying for our attention.
Absolutely. The excerpts you shared, they really hit on how crucial deep work is becoming in our economy, But also, it highlights the challenges, the hurdles we face
Totally.
when we're actually trying to cultivate it, to actually build that skill.
Right.
It seems like you're searching for those practical ways to actually get deep work into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to dig into, using some pretty cool examples from the book.
Okay, so before we even get into the how-to, the nitty-gritty, let's talk about the why. Why should we even care about this whole deep work thing in the first place?
Newport, he argues that there are these two core abilities that are super essential for thriving in our world today, right? First one, you got to be able to quickly master hard things.
Makes sense.
Think about all the crazy new tech, information overload, complex problems. It's nonstop.
Yeah, it's like a fire hose.
You got to be able to learn and adapt quickly just to keep up.
It's true. It's not enough to just know a little about a bunch of stuff anymore.
Nope.
You got to be able to really dive into something complex and get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the second ability is you have to be able to produce at an elite level, both in terms of quality and speed.
Like top tier output.
Think of it like this. Anyone can write a blog post.
Right.
But can you write one that's insightful, well-researched, engaging, and hit that deadline?
Yeah, that's the real test.
That's where deep work steps in.
So it's like this secret ingredient that lets us learn the complex stuff fast and then use it to make amazing work.
You got it.
Okay, but you mentioned earlier that deep work's becoming a rare thing.
Yeah.
Why is that? That seems kind of backwards.
It's a total paradox, right?
Yeah.
These abilities, they're more valuable than ever.
Yeah.
But our work world makes deep work so much harder.
True.
Open offices, always got to be connected, notifications all the time.
It's like we're surrounded.
It's like we're drowning in distractions.
Seriously. And we're supposed to be available 24/7, emails, messages.
Right.
Hard to find any time to just focus.
Newport, he calls this the principle of least resistance.
Okay, what's that?
It basically means if we're not sure what's really important,
Yeah,
we just go for the easiest thing,
makes sense.
checking your phone.
Yeah.
Way easier than tackling some huge problem.
Oh, for sure.
So it's a vicious cycle, right?
Right.
Distractions make it hard to do the work that would actually make us better.
Like we're working against ourselves?
Totally a trap. But it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay, good.
Newport lays out these 4 huge benefits of deep work.
Okay, I'm listening.
Makes it worth the fight, First, it's valuable, just like we've been saying, makes you skilled, you produce awesome work.
So you stand out, you become that go-to person.
Exactly. You become that sought-after person.
Okay, cool.
Second benefit, it's rare.
Makes you special.
In a world where everyone's distracted,
Right.
deep focus, that's a superpower.
I like that. Superpower.
Think about someone like Nate Silver, the data guy.
Oh, yeah, the election predictions.
Nailed the 2008 election. And it wasn't just because he's smart.
Right.
He could really focus on mastering that data and then using it.
Like a deep dive into the numbers.
Intense concentration. That's deep work.
So deep work is like having a superpower in a world full of distracted people.
Exactly. And it's more than just work stuff.
Okay.
The third benefit, deep work, it's meaningful.
How so?
When you're really into a task, creating something, solving something tough, you connect to a deeper purpose in your work,
It's not just going through the motions.
It's like you're making an impact.
Right, you're contributing.
And that feeling, super rewarding.
I bet.
Finally, deep work, it's satisfying. Ever been in that flow state?
Yeah.
So absorbed in what you're doing that time flies by.
Oh, absolutely. It's like being in the zone.
And you're doing your best work.
Yeah, like a good kind of trance, super creative.
That's the power of flow. And deep work is the key to unlocking it consistently.
Okay, but here's the tricky part.
Yeah, I know you're going to say.
How do we actually fit this into our lives? Our schedules are already packed.
I hear you.
It's not like we can just snap our fingers and have hours of quiet time.
Right.
So how do we make it happen?
Well, Newport has some interesting ideas about that.
Okay, lay it on me.
He's got these 4 distinct philosophies for scheduling deep work.
Oh, okay.
Each one with its own unique approach. We can explore those together.
Awesome.
See which one might click for you.
I'm all ears. Hit me with those deep work philosophies.
The first one's called the monastic philosophy.
Okay.
It's like, imagine going on a deep work retreat.
All right.
You cut out or like drastically reduce all those shallow obligations.
Oh,
You just want to maximize your deep work time.
like a total focus zone.
It's like a digital detox, but on steroids.
Got it.
You want an example?
Yeah, give me an example.
Cal Newport. He mentions Neil Stephenson,
Oh, the sci-fi author.
famous for dodging emails, public appearances, all that.
It makes sense.
He's all about pouring his energy into writing.
He's chosen those incredible novels over all the back and forth, huh?
Yeah. Monastic philosophy, it's about building a bubble for deep work to thrive in.
Shut out all the noise.
Exactly.
Works for a novelist, but I don't know if everyone can swing that.
True, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Right.
That's why we got the bimodal philosophy.
Okay, bimodal, what's that about?
A bit more flexible. Instead of ditching shallow work entirely,
Yeah.
you alternate
Okay.
intense deep work periods,
Uh-huh.
then you're open and available.
Like switching gears.
2 modes, one for diving deep,
I like that.
one for everything else.
You got an example for this one?
Think of Adam Grant.
Oh, yeah, the Wharton professor.
Give and Take, his book. He structures his year so he teaches all his courses in one semester.
Wow. Intense.
Leaves the other totally free for deep work, research, writing, all that.
So he's got these dedicated blocks of time, but he's also present when he needs to be.
Exactly.
I like that balance. What about the other 2 philosophies?
We got the rhythmic philosophy. It's all about routine.
Ah, the power of habit.
Build a daily rhythm,
Ah,
carve out a specific time for deep work.
I'm all about routines. What's an example for this one?
Ever heard of Jerry Seinfeld's chain method?
Vaguely, remind me.
He writes jokes every single day, no matter what.
Dedicate.
Marks his calendar with an X.
Yeah.
Each day, he does it.
Keeps himself accountable.
Goal is to keep that chain of X's unbroken.
Motivates him to stick with it.
Deep work becomes a non-negotiable, just like brushing your teeth.
That's smart. Make it automatic.
Exactly. Less of a decision, more of an action.
I like it.
And then the last one, we got the journalistic philosophy.
Journalistic. That's a new one.
Most flexible of the bunch.
Okay, tell me more.
It's all about squeezing deep work into your schedule whenever you find the time.
Oh, I see.
Think of journalists. They got to flip into deep work mode instantly.
No matter what's going on.
Surroundings, schedule, doesn't matter.
So it's about seizing those pockets of time as they pop up.
You got it, Cal Newport. He uses this himself.
Oh, interesting.
Also mentions Walter Isaacson, Steve Jobs' biographer.
Yeah, I know.
Famous for slipping into deep work mode whenever he had an hour or two.
It's like being a deep work ninja.
Striking at any moment.
Sounds exciting, but also kind of hard.
Sounds exciting,
Yeah.
but also kind of hard.
Takes discipline, for sure.
Yeah.
To shift gears and focus when everything's chaotic.
Right.
But can be super effective when you don't have those big chunks of free time.
Makes sense. So we've got 4 philosophies then. Monastic, bimodal, rhythmic, and journalistic.
That's the lineup.
Seems like there's one for every personality, every work style out there.
That's the beauty. You experiment, find what clicks.
Right. What works for me might not work for you.
Some people love routine. Others need to be more free.
Yeah. Important thing is be intentional about making deep work happen.
Okay, that makes sense. But now we've talked about why it's important
Mhm.
and different ways to schedule it.
Right.
But what about the actual doing part?
Ah, good question.
How do we go from distracted to focused?
Newport's got some practical rituals and strategies.
Okay, hit me with those.
One of the first things, you want to establish a deep work ritual.
Deep work ritual. Okay.
It's like a set of actions, specific behaviors
Mhm.
that tell your brain, hey, it's deep work time.
Like a mental cue.
A trigger to get you into that focused mode.
So setting the stage, right? Creating the right environment.
Exactly. What kind of stuff do you think people include in their rituals?
I'm not sure. Maybe like going to a specific spot.
Could be that, turning off your phone.
Oh, yeah, I got to disconnect.
Internet, putting on certain music.
Oh, I like that. Music to focus to.
Lighting, even a special drink, something you only have when you're working deeply.
It's all about sending that signal. Okay, focus time.
Right on. And sometimes it takes more than just a little change in your surroundings.
Okay, what else?
Newport talks about making grand gestures.
Grand gestures. Now we're talking. How grand are we talking?
Think bold moves. Create a truly distraction-free environment.
Okay.
Remember J.K. Rowling? Checked into a luxury hotel to finish Harry Potter.
That's commitment.
That's a grand gesture. Remove yourself from all the everyday distractions.
Create that dedicated space.
Exactly.
That's impressive, but also sounds pricey.
Doesn't have to be.
Right.
Cal Newport mentions this computer science professor.
Okay.
Built a little cabin in his backyard just for writing.
Oh, that's cool.
His deep work sanctuary.
I love that, a backyard retreat.
Find what works for you. Make that commitment to creating the right environment.
Makes sense, but we've been talking about rituals, grand gestures.
Mm-hmm.
Deep work often seems like a solo thing.
Yeah.
Is it always alone, or can collaboration be a part of it?
Great question. Newport addresses that head on. He's not against collaboration, but it's got to be strategic.
I see.
He's not a fan of the always-on open office setup.
Right. Constant interruptions.
Makes it impossible to really focus.
So how can collaboration actually help with deep work?
He likes these hub-and-spoke arrangements.
Hub and spoke.
You get exposed to ideas in collaborative hubs regularly,
Okay.
but then you retreat to individual spokes
I'll get it.
to work deeply on what you encountered.
So it's like bouncing ideas around together, then going off to execute them solo.
Exactly. He uses Building 20 at MIT as an example.
Oh, yeah. The place known for accidental encounters.
Cross-disciplinary collaborations, all that.
Yeah.
But even there, the big breakthroughs came from researchers who also valued their private space.
They needed that alone time to focus.
You got to be intentional about collaboration.
Make sure it fuels your deep work, not drains it.
Well put. He even suggests making collaboration part of the deep work process.
Oh, interesting.
Think about the transistor. Invented at Bell Labs. Team of researchers, different specialties. Their discussions were key, but they also needed time to work deeply on their individual parts.
So it's not about cutting out collaboration entirely.
No.
It's about using it wisely to make your deep work even better.
You nailed it. And lastly, Newport brings in this cool idea from the business world.
Okay, let's hear it.
Treat deep work like a business.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Spreadsheets and marketing plans.
Not quite. He gets this from the 4 disciplines of execution.
Okay.
It's a framework for hitting those big goals.
I see.
He thinks these disciplines work just as well for deep work as they do for business stuff.
All right, I'm ready. How do those disciplines apply to deep work?
First discipline, focus on what's wildly important.
Sounds intense.
You pick a few key outcomes, ambitious ones,
Okay.
you want to achieve with your deep work time.
So it's about being strategic.
Exactly. Not just do more deep work, but have a real goal in mind.
You're intentional about how you use that focus time.
You got it. Second discipline, act on the lead measures.
Lead measures.
The activities that directly drive those results you want.
Okay.
For deep work, the lead measure is the actual time spent deeply focused.
So it's about tracking that time, making sure you're putting in the hours.
Exactly. Third discipline, keep a compelling scoreboard.
A scoreboard, like with points and stuff.
Could be, or just a simple spreadsheet chart, something you update. The point is, make your progress visible.
I see.
That's motivating.
Turning it into a game.
Exactly. And the final discipline, create a cadence of accountability.
Accountability, that's important.
Have regular check-ins, see how you're doing.
Make adjustments if you need to.
Exactly, like having a deep work coach, an accountability partner.
Someone to keep you on track.
Could be setting aside time each week to review your deep work log.
Okay.
Or finding a colleague, friend, someone also into deep work.
And check in with each other.
You got it.
So even though it's often solo, having someone to answer to can help.
Sure. Shows how those business principles, usually for teams, can help individuals too.
All right, this is all great stuff. I'm feeling pumped to try some of this.
Awesome.
But gotta admit, all this talk about deep work, it's making me kind of tired.
I hear you.
Is it even possible to be focused all the time?
That's a good point, and Newport emphasizes this.
Okay.
Downtime. It's not just nice. It's essential for deep work.
Makes sense.
He even dedicates a whole section to rest and recharge.
Okay. Tell me all about it. I'm ready to hear about the downtime.
One of the biggest things, the shutdown ritual.
The shutdown ritual.
It's like the opposite of the deep work ritual we talked about.
So if deep work is about signaling focus time, this is about signaling time to switch off.
You nailed it. It should be just as intentional.
Okay.
Newport recommends a few steps at the end of each workday.
Like what?
You review unfinished tasks, goals, projects, make sure you have a plan, or capture them somewhere you can come back to them.
So your brain can let go of work thoughts and relax.
Create a boundary between work and personal time.
That separation is key, so you can come back refreshed.
It's exactly. What else do you think we need to know about downtime?
I'm not sure. What else is there?
Newport talks about embracing boredom.
Embracing boredom. Wait, why would we do that?
Right. Seems counterintuitive.
We're supposed to make our lives exciting, right?
That's what we're told. But Newport says our need for constant new stuff,
Yeah.
it actually weakens our focus.
So always looking for distractions makes it harder to do deep work.
Exactly. By embracing boredom, we're basically working out our concentration muscles.
I like that mental workout.
We get better at resisting distractions, focusing on one thing
Without getting antsy.
without needing something more exciting.
So instead of reaching for our phones every free minute,
Right.
we practice just being present.
Builds a tolerance for stillness or absence of novelty.
That makes you more focused and productive in the long run.
You got it. And finally, he talks about productive meditation.
Productive meditation. What's that?
It's not about clearing your mind or anything.
Okay.
It's about using everyday stuff like walking, showering,
Even chores.
to think through work problems.
Oh, I see. Like turning routines into thinking time.
Exactly. Newport says he works out chapter outlines while walking.
That's cool.
Leverage those in-between moments for productive thought.
Instead of just zoning out,
Right. It's like having a mental notepad you can access anytime.
jot down ideas as they come.
Perfect analogy. Highlights being intentional with your downtime.
Instead of scrolling or watching TV.
You're actively using your mind in a way that helps your work. So what are your thoughts on all this so far?
This is all really helpful. I'm definitely feeling more inspired to make deep work a priority.
Great.
But I gotta be honest, training my concentration still seems kind of daunting.
Understandable.
Like, where do I even start?
I get it. Easy to feel overwhelmed, especially when you're used to being distracted.
True.
But the good news is Newport's got some practical tactics for training your concentration.
Okay, lay 'em on me. What are these concentration boosting strategies?
One of the most surprising, he suggests memorizing a deck of cards.
A deck of cards. Seriously. How's that going to help me with deep work?
It's not about the actual memorization, it's the training.
Okay.
Forces you to focus, engage your working memory, makes your concentration stronger overall.
Like a brain workout for my focus.
Exactly. And there are techniques, proven ones.
Oh, okay.
Newport, he talks about Ron White's approach. Former USA memory champion.
Wow, serious memory skills.
He's all about visualization and association.
So it's not just like rote memorizing, you're creating these mental pictures.
Right, to help you remember the sequence.
Okay.
You make a mental journey, like through your house.
Mm-hmm.
Each card gets linked to an image in each room.
I see.
Creating and recalling those images, that takes focus.
So it's like boot camp for your attention span.
Basically.
Yep.
But even if we can memorize a whole deck,
Yeah, that's a big if.
we're still surrounded by distractions in real life.
Right. How do we deal with those?
That's where taming shallow work comes in.
Okay, shallow work, that stuff that just eats up your time.
Newport has some strategies, practical ones, to reduce that low-value stuff.
Giving those strategies, I'm ready to tame my shallow work.
One of the most powerful, schedule every minute of your workday.
Every minute. Sounds a bit much, don't you think?
It's about eliminating the time you waste, figuring out what to do next.
Okay.
Predetermined schedule, less decision fatigue, more mental energy for deep work.
So I'm proactively deciding how I spend my time.
Exactly. Instead of just reacting to emails and whatever pops up.
Taking control of my time instead of it controlling me.
It doesn't have to be super rigid.
Okay.
Things come up. But the aim is to have a plan for each hour.
That makes sense. What's next?
Once you have a schedule, quantify the depth of each activity.
Quantify. Is there like a formula for that?
Ask yourself how long to train someone new to do this.
Oh, I see.
Longer it takes, deeper the activity.
So like writing a research paper versus formatting a PowerPoint.
Exactly. One takes way more training, so it's deeper.
That's a good way to figure out what's really valuable.
Versus what just feels urgent or busy work.
Totally. So once I know how deep my stuff is...
You can schedule your shallow work strategically.
Okay, scheduling shallow work, isn't the goal to get rid of that as much as possible?
In a perfect world, yes.
Right.
But realistically, some is unavoidable.
True.
The key is to be intentional about it.
So I choose when to do it instead of it dictating my day.
Exactly. Figure out how much is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Schedule it in, leaves the rest of your time free for deep work.
Like a shallow work budget, only spend what you have to.
That's a great way to think about it, and it's a huge source of shallow work.
Email. Oh my gosh, email is a black hole.
Newport's got some good strategies for controlling your inbox.
Hit me with those email tips. I need all the help I can get.
One of the most interesting Implement a sender filter.
A sender filter. What's that?
It makes people think before they email you,
Okay.
which cuts down on the unnecessary messages.
I like that.
Could be as simple as a detailed contact form on your website. Or something more involved,
Got it.
like a barrier to entry for your inbox.
Keep out all the riffraff.
Focus on the important stuff. Newport uses one.
Really?
People have to answer questions before they can email him.
Wow, that's next level.
Weeds out the junk. Focuses on the messages that matter.
That's brilliant. I got to set one of those up for myself.
What other email strategies do you think he has?
I'm not sure. Give me another one.
Do more work when you send or reply to emails.
Do more work. How do I do that?
Be more thoughtful, intentional.
Okay.
Instead of quick replies, take your time. Answer thoroughly, give all the info, try to move the conversation forward.
So each email counts.
Exactly. More effort up front, but saves you time and stress later.
That makes sense. Any other email wisdom?
Last one. This might sound crazy.
Okay, hit me.
Don't respond to every email.
Wait, is that even allowed?
It's a bold move, but Newport says lots of emails don't actually need a response.
Like they're just not that important.
Ambiguous, unimportant, can be resolved without you.
So I'm being picky about what I respond to.
Focusing on the ones that matter, let go of the rest.
Yeah, that would free up a lot of time and mental space.
It takes practice, but it's a valuable skill.
I can see that. It's like taking back my time and attention from my inbox.
Exactly. Crucial for making space for deep work.
Instead of being reactive, I'm being proactive.
You got it. And as we wrap up our deep dive here,
Yeah.
important to remember, deep work, it's more than just a productivity thing.
I'm sensing that.
It's a whole philosophy, how you approach work and life.
With purpose and intention.
Pushing back against all that shallowness and distraction.
Embracing something deeper.
A more meaningful way of being. And what's cool is this idea has roots in philosophy, ancient philosophy.
Oh, tell me about that, the philosophy connection.
Newport looks at Hubert Dreyfus and Sean Dorrance Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Philosophers. They argue our culture lacks sacredness and meaning.
Like we've lost touch with what matters.
We're adrift, looking for purpose, and they think one way to find it is through craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship? I thought that was for, like, artisans and makers.
True, but they believe it applies to any work.
Oh.
Even knowledge work. It's about skill, mastery, dedication.
So even if I'm working with ideas, not physical stuff.
You can still have that craftsman approach.
I get it. Put in the effort. Do high-quality work.
And Newport says deep work unlocks that for knowledge work.
It's about honing my skills, making something I'm proud of.
Exactly. And through that, you find meaning, satisfaction.
Not just reacting, but creating.
Making a real impact. That's the beauty of deep work.
It's not just about getting things done. It's about doing work that matters.
Work that feels good, work that fulfills you.
This has been so insightful. I'm feeling inspired to really dive into this deep work thing.
Awesome. And remember, the most important step is to just start.
Start small.
Experiment, find what works, be patient with yourself.
One step at a time.
The journey to deep work mastery, it's ongoing.
But the rewards sound worth it.
They definitely are. And to everyone listening out there,
Yes, to all our listeners.
good luck on your deep work journeys.
Thanks so much for sharing all this with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of what deep work can be.
Glad to hear it.
I'm excited to start putting it into practice.
That's what it's all about.